We're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to actually run a Q&A because we have two very special people here. One you heard the voice of and one you saw a lot of, so I'd like to bring them up right now. The director, R.J. Cutler, and Anna Wintour. This must have been a very complicated decision for you, of course. How did this come about? How did the ask come? How did you make this decision? How did this project come to you? Or you?
I'll let you start.
Well, RJ came to us originally with the idea of another documentary, creating something around the Costume Institute ball that we do every year. But the idea of doing a documentary about the September issue is something that I've always wanted to do, and as a great fan of RJ's work, gradually the discussion evolved into that.
Well, it's that's what happened. I read a piece that was in New York Magazine about the Met Ball, and of course knew of Anna and her great accomplishments and prominence, and we approached her originally to discuss doing the Met Ball, and that didn't come to fruition. But my sense was that if we were patient, that hopefully another idea would come around, and eventually Patrick, who's Anna's director of communications, called and said, Anna has an idea she'd like to talk to you about, so come to town. So I got my very first manicure at the insistence of some of my closer friends, and went to New York, and Anna suggested it. And of course it was a brilliant idea because of what a monumental effort the September issue is every year.
You're telling me I'm sitting here for 50 minutes trying to hold my stomach in. So when you, how did you, what was it like telling, because it wasn't just you, of course, you had to involve the whole staff in this. What was it like? Did you just tell them, like, this is it, they're coming in, or did you have to coax people into this? Because there's a lot of shedding of who everybody is in this, and it's a odd process.
RJ was very smart because he was very low-key and very sort of fly on the wall, and at the beginning, everyone was getting their hair and makeup done every 5 seconds, and changing their clothes all the time. At the end of the 9 months, I mean, he was coming to work at Vogue every day like the rest of us. So I think he gradually got everybody to relax. And as you can see from Grace Coddington, who's really the star of the film, in my judgment, was actually the one who came in and told me she was quitting if we did this film. And at the end, she and RJ were having a love affair. So there you go.
The very first thing Grace said to me was, "Go away."
So after you've seen the movie, is there anything you want to change at Vogue now that you've seen what goes on outside your office door?
I mean, there wasn't much in there I didn't know before.
I guess you're not really doing anything with
I'm
Vogue,
not
so
changing a thing.
you're out of the picture. This is kind of a weird one too. Is there any part of your job that just you see so much of what you do? Is there any part of your job now that you watch that you want to get rid of, that you kind of say that's not the fun part? Because we see so many different facets of your job.
Sure, actually, there's a lot more to what I do, all of which we laid open to RJ, and we invited him to see many different aspects, work that we do with the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund, the work that we do with the Costume Institute, the work that we do with the CFDA Vogue AIDS Fund. We have a whole sort of extracurricular life that is not featured in this film, and I have to be honest, I mean, I was surprised that none of that made it into the cut, but this is RJ's vision and RJ's film, and this is the film that he wanted to make. But I think I'm very lucky in that there are so many different aspects to what I do, not all of which are on the film today, but maybe one or two less run-throughs might be good.
There's no question from our experience that you could make us many volumes of, to cover all of the work that Anna does. The September issue would be one, the Met Ball would be another, the CFDA Fashion Fund would be another, and it's quite extraordinary. I mean, we like to fancy ourselves as energetic people who can keep up with just about anything, and it was a marathon that moved at the pace of a sprint constantly. It was extraordinary to see just how many things Anna and Vogue were involved in, really from the moment we got there till long after we left.
What's wonderful about this movie to me is watching creative process in action. I mean, I think that's what makes it transcend over everything. This is in the fashion world, but I think there's so many filmmakers here that do the same sort of thing every day. You know, the conflicts, the resolutions, really this win-win situation of making, you know, something better with all of you working together. Is there any time you questioned going into such a transparent time that we live in, that you know, you believe in telling everybody everything you're doing? Is there any time you question the transparency, like this might not be a good idea, like somehow you're going to give away some of the magic, or were you always on board that that's what you were setting out to do?
Well, RJ resisted the glamour of what we do along the way. I mean, all the sort of evening events and the movie star, except for Sienna. I mean, he seemed very committed to the idea of the work that goes into the issue, and obviously that was something that I'm particularly interested in, because I do feel that there's a very facile side to fashion, which I was talking about in the beginning of the film, that people tend to focus on. So I'm thrilled that really it's the creative process and the agony and the heartbreak and the joy and the incredible hours and passion that everyone that works at Vogue puts into the magazine, which is what RJ decided to focus on. So, you know, are there a few things that we would maybe like not to be in the film? Certainly, but RJ has ignored every single one of my comments.
Well, I guess that's his job. You have to comment.
You know, this is as Anna knows, we think of this process as a collaboration, and it's not just the way we think. It's a fundamental belief of making these films. The stories that you saw today belong to Anna and Grace and everybody at Vogue, and we're fortunate in that they invite us in, and then as we earn their trust, that they share them with us. And so, of course, we're particularly eager to hear their feedback when we're done with the film, and to you know, get an understanding of what they think about it. And sometimes, you know, it makes you think about things anew, and sometimes it you know, leads to fascinating conversations, and sometimes it leads to awesome email exchanges. And you know, what more can a filmmaker say?
They told me not to ask this question, but do you like the movie?
Well, it's quite hard to look at yourself in such an intense way, but I'm just very, very happy to have a record of everything that we do, and just again to show how hard everyone, Tom, Grace, Tony, Mario, all the people that I work with day in and day out, to me it's a tribute to them, and a tribute to the, I feel very honored to work at Vogue, and it's a tribute to Vogue's heritage, so I'm very grateful for that.
And needless to say, we are so thrilled that we had the chance to do it. Of all the people who might have been given the opportunity to make this film, that Anna chose me and my awesome team, all of whom are here. I will. I see Bob Richmond, who you'll all recognize from his physique and genius photography, Eddie O'Connor, our producer Eliza Hindmarch, Craig Ritchie, our composer. I know Sadia Shepard is